On December 16, 1773, in Griffin's Wharf, the Sons of Liberty gathered together to dump Britain's precious tea into the harbor, to send a clear message to Britain, which was that they were fed up with having no representation in Britain's unfavorable control over them.
The acts the British imposed on the Americans were the result of the Boston Tea Party. The acts were the Sugar Act, which imposed taxes on the molasses, the sugar, and the other products that were imported into the American colonies because of the British, no, by the British. And so that gave them the right, or at least they thought so. The Currency Act was the one after the Sugar Act. It was passed because they needed more money, and so it raised taxes higher because it made the Americans pay twice as much on things. And the Quartering Act, I think, was what angered Americans most because they had to house British soldiers, and they didn't want that because they thought that British soldiers didn't even need to be in America, so that just made it worse. The Stamp Act was the last act that the British imposed on Americans, and it included taxes on legal documents, newspapers, stamps, and other things that America used a lot. So all of these acts resulted in the Boston Tea Party. America rebelled because they were tired of many taxes.
The Boston Tea Party's significance to American history is that it was the first rebellion that commenced into the American Revolution. This rebellion showed Britain that the colonies were not playing around no more. The colonies were going to do whatever it took so that they may be treated fairly and equal to Britain, and if rising above and defeating Britain is what they had to do, they were willing to do it. They would take any costs necessary to prove their point and make them all equal. This uprising would cause the shift in power and would bring greater change to freedom. Because this rebellion was the first, it shows the greatest importance. This turned the colonies from what they used to be to the freedom of today. This rebellion was a call to arms, and it showed everybody that there was a change to be needed.